Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another chapter review for Kaiju number 8. Today we're going to be looking at chapter 60. So let's get started with the news segment as usual, and I think that the only news for now is that it has finally been, officially announced that it's going to get an anime. I don't know any more information about that, but it has been foretold that an anime will come here soon. And the Mexican editions have officially released as well, which is pretty interesting. I think they officially released a few weeks ago, but they are finally arriving to people, and people are finally making videos on them. So there you go. The Spanish editions the Mexican editions look like this. There is a special edition that you can buy on Panini exclusive, and then the other one that you can buy for regular Panini store online and Panini points in physical form in Mexico throughout the whole kind of country. So there you go. Now, in terms of recap for chapter 59, basically, chapter 59 finally returns to Reno's viewpoint, and we get to see Reno trying to become the user for number 6, the number 6 weapon. And we get to see that he wants to do it, and that his boss in the 3rd division is telling him, no, don't do it. And Reno's like, no, I have to. You know, Mr. Kafka is doing his best. I have to do my best as well. And he fails. He basically passes out because the power is too strong. And he now has to train, and he has a month to do it. Otherwise, his boss is going to be like, no, you can't do it at all. And yeah, that's what happened last time. So let's finally get into the review and discussion here. So it starts with Iharu looking at Reno passing out, and he's kind of happy that Reno failed, right? And then he, hits his face and snaps out of it. He says he's the worst, that he shouldn't be thinking like that. Sorry, that was weird. He says he shouldn't be thinking like that. And then he decides that he's going to catch up, because Iharu is basically like Reno's rival character. And it's pretty interesting that happens. And then we get to see this kind of scene shift to this artillery blockade situation where they're kind of corralling all of the kaiju in this specific attack into a specific zone. And then we get to see that they have these tanks set up, that the blockade is ready, and that all the kaiju have been sent into the neutralization zones, right? And then the captain of the 3rd division, or 2nd division, I think is where they're at, says, roger that, good work. And he asks Ichikawa if he's okay, if Reno is doing okay, if he's ready to go. And it's pretty interesting. They get to see that, the psychological wave patterns are all clear, everything is fine, the number 6 cell levels are normal, and Reno is ready to deploy whenever it's necessary. And we get to see him in this very cool, scaled up version of the regular, suit that is very clearly labeled number 6, and that has some extra stuff around him, right? And Iharu gets to be like the person that we get to see Reno through. And he says, the power hasn't been unleashed yet, but I can feel the freezing cold energy from here. So that's kind of interesting. We didn't know that the power that number 6 had was coldness. Basically an ice magic kaiju. And it's kind of interesting that this happens to be the case, because if I remember correctly, the first time we see Reno use a kaiju killing weapon, he uses the cold load on his gun in order to slow down some kaiju. So that's really cool, because I'm pretty sure that it's basically foreshadowing that he was going to become this cold power user, which is very great. I really like that. If Kafka is electricity, Reno is going to be cold, so we need a fire and a wind user at some point. And it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I'm sure Kikoru is going to eventually become a numbers user, so I'm curious to see what power she's going to get. And next scene is the division captain sitting on this sports chair outside one of those foldable chairs that you get to see people using, when you go to kids level soccer games, parents take out their foldable chairs, stuff like that. And he's sitting there and he's reminiscing. He's like, "Oh, I didn't believe that this guy was actually going to do it, right?" And then his subordinate is like, "This would be bullying, workplace bullying, and this would be kind of concerning if they were in a traditional workplace, right?" And she basically tells him, Reno isn't a highly accomplished kid. He is basically accelerating his rate of development so much, and he hasn't gotten to Shinomiya's level, but he's on his way, right? And then the division captain is like, "Oh, that must mean that he's a prodigy, and he tells them, live combat is different from training, and he tells Reno to move forward and to execute the Honshu that they managed to corral, right? And he tells them, it's a mole type 67, and we get to learn that it's a mole type that showed up in the year 1967, and it has a fortitude level of 6.4, and now they get him to move, right? And they neutralize they commence the neutralization operation, and Reno's blowing through everything. He's running way faster than everyone else can. And so Iharu has to release his combat potential, and he joins up and moves quicker. And we get to see that Reno only has 10 minutes to do this, and so that he has to move forward, right? And he's kind of overreacting. He's not really sure. He's under a lot of pressure. And this Joju shows up, this smaller Kaiju shows up, and Reno actually activates his cold powers before he wanted to, and so he actually gets trapped, and he basically is under threat of death by this Kaiju until Iharu steps in and helps him neutralize it. Sorry, my brain. And it's interesting, and it actually helps Reno kind of center himself once again, which is great. I really like that. I think that Reno and Iharu have a relationship that is similar to the one Reno and Kafka have, and so this kind of poetry, this rhyme between the characters is great. I really like that. I hope to see Iharu and Kafka interact as well. And as Iharu is trying to take down this Kaiju, Reno comes back centered and kills the Kaiju. Or hurts it, I think, and he manages to use the ice powers that he doesn't fully control to his advantage by using them to freeze him onto a location from where he can snipe much better, which is really, really good. So that's very well done. He neutralizes that Kaiju, and then Iharu gets kind of like shocked into immobilization, and then there's this other Kaiju that's going to attack Iharu, and then Reno comes in and saves him once again, and he thanks him for helping him keep his cool, and then Reno basically handles the rest, and Iharu has this kind of moment of realization where, like, Reno has surpassed him so much, and he basically has this moment of, like, Vegeta type fear of like, oh god, I'm not the best, what the heck. And this basically sets up Iharu's development for the future. So I'm really actually happy with the way that the chapter developed, and I'm actually really happy to see where this all goes. Yeah, I don't really have anything in terms of theories. I can't really think of where the story is going to go from here. I don't really see anything developing here that isn't really clearly set out. So, like, of course, Reno is going to continue to grow, and he's going to become part of this elite, Kaiju killing force alongside Kafka and Iharu. Not Iharu. Mina and Shinomiya and Narumi and Hoshina. And Iharu is probably going to want to be on that team as well, and so he's going to have to up his game and up his pace, and of course maintain pace with Reno. And of course that's why we're seeing Iharu have this moment of like Vegeta-like realization that he's being surpassed by someone he doesn't know. And I'm really excited to see where this goes, and I'm really happy with the story. And It's been a while, but we finally got to chapter 60, and yeah, I hope this goes on for a long time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and thank you guys very much for watching. See you guys later.